Hello, and welcome to Richard and Karl present Deep Space and Dragons, where we're not playing Daggerheart this week. I'm Richard, not Dungeon Mastering.
And I am Karl, and I'm still playing.
Nice.
I'm not a player, but I play.
For the record, I do think a sitcom where you, as your current self, was trying to be a player would be such a... You just can't do it, and it'd be really funny to watch. You're bad at it, I hate to tell you.
You're probably right.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm also really bad at it. But, like, I'm more likely to shoot failing shots that lead to random drama, where you're just like, I'm just not going to play this game. This just seems like a bad plan.
It often is. Gotta find the right person, I guess.
I mean, technically you're winning at the moment.
That's true. I am scheduled to be married.
And I simply don't have enough hustle to win. Don't get me wrong. That would be really funny for me to, like, elope a week before your wedding. And I just show up with my wife to best man you, and you'll be like, what's that ring you're wearing? Oh, I just got married yesterday. Don't worry about it. This is about you.
Got married yesterday.
Hashtag winning. Like, I really appreciate that bit, because in this bit, I'm not trying to upstage your wedding. I'm not doing anything dramatic. I just have that subtle little taunt of like, oh yeah, I have a life outside of you. You don't know.
Well, I mean, on that note, what's new with you there, Richard?
I'm not getting married at the moment. Well, like, so I'm very whelmed at the moment. So I just shipped the printed bounded paperback version of my ghostwriting thing to the client. I finished a bunch of online training modules, as I was talking about pre-stream. And I'm at that point where, like, I had my orientation. They're like, get ready to TA, get ready to learn, get ready to read 5 books a week. So I'm just kind of getting ready, right? Like, I've read 2 of the books, so I won't have to read 5 in the first week.
Okay.
I did a bunch of my heavy lifting for my ghostwriting project, so now I'm just basically respond to emails for the rest of the month and do little edits. So I'm like setting myself up to see how much grad school is going to kick my ass.
5 books a week, huh?
About.
There's just so many books you have to cover in your English course?
I mean, in my master's level English literature course, yeah.
I don't know. That's like well over 100 books that you're supposed to read. Then, like, because it's like how long is your course?
3 semesters, but the last one's a placement, or writing a doctorate paper. So here's
and each semester is 4 months.
3 months, 13 weeks actually.
13 weeks. All right, so I guess that's only 52 books a semester. No, 5 books a week.
I break 100
65
books.
books a semester then.
I do in fact break 100 books. However, I need to read more anyway for my craft, because my program gave me... It's like, one of my professors was an English doctor. He's like, yeah, kids whining about how much you have to read. When I was an undergrad, I read all these books. I'm like, yeah, because when you were an undergrad, it was for English, not for writing. And he's like, you're lucky I like you. And I'm like, yeah. And then he just randomly throw shade at me for the rest of the semester, which was well deserved. I got told I wasn't whimsical to my face. I was under the impression I was whimsical, but no.
No.
Instead,
not
I'm
enough whimsy.
just sassy, which, to be fair, is accurate. So, like, the big thing I get to make is there's a placement where they try and, like, shove me into a company somewhere, or I can write like a 30-page research paper.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm actually really torn. So I learned the placements are unpaid, which is weirdly a good thing because that doesn't weigh my decision. Where before I'm like, oh yeah, follow the money. But now I can choose what I'd rather do.
If it was paid, you'd get screwed over with OSAP, right? Like that's Ontario students.
Yeah, I don't want to give like financial advice about Ontario students on our podcast, but long story short, it's messy. My co-op term last time was messy. And this one's like, no money is involved. They just put you in a place and then you write reports about it. And some people have been put into pretty cool places like Redacted and Redacted. and the redacted that had the redacted book fair in every elementary school. So it's like, I was talking with my mentor friend the other day, and I'm like, where should I get a placement? He's like, well, first you should see if you can get trained by an illusionist or an astronaut, and if that fails, there's all sorts of like literary journals and presses and things. But like for the big research paper, you have to find like a supervising professor to write the papers. And normally,
a supervising professor to
yeah,
to write your paper?
to like advise you on the paper. To be
Okay,
allowed
okay.
to. So what I mean by that is to be allowed to write a paper, you need to find somebody who will support you while writing your paper.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So normally it'd be like, well, sucks to be me, no one's going to want to support my paper on Dungeons and Dragons, right? Or whatever it is I choose to write on. Like the last 100 episodes of topics on this podcast, any of them was what I'd write my paper on.
Right, right.
Like I'm not writing it on Chaucer, I don't have a hot take. But one of my professors, who's like the program coordinator's specialization is in digital humanities and the academic value of video game narratives. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Suddenly writing a 40-page paper sounds delightful. Wait, can I write my 40-page paper on the visual novel and why there's terrible? Can I write it on why Baldur's Gate 3 should be taught in high schools? The options are just endless.
Yeah.
So I have a fair amount of time to decide which way I want to go, where unlike my co-op term at Redacted School, which is literally like the third word on my link tree, you can figure out where I went to school. It's really not hard. But there we had to find our co-ops, and we had to find our mentors, and it was a whole thing. Here, there's like a person for that, who when I said, oh, I had to find my mentor, they're like, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited. Where like a lot of my coursework is do the thing, but I also have to do an extra class kind of sorta, because I have to like do tutorials in a class, which means I myself also have to do this class. So I also have to do the reading for this class, but on a level that I could then teach it. But to quote my brother, where it's like, yeah, you're gonna say, I don't want to, and then the moment it gets busy, you're just gonna start helping people do it anyway, because you spent your whole life having people not care what you had to say, and now that they care what you have to say, you say a lot.
It's true. I mean, we haven't looked at the analytics, but I do feel like you probably take up more of the screen time on our
I would
podcast.
if it weren't for your movie reviews. I think those put us to 50-50. Because you'll just be like, top... It's like, I'm just going to give you a 30-minute thought on Dracula, and then we can start talking about local taxes and tariffs. Although I do have to wonder if our podcast would do better or worse if we just switched, like, pulled a John Oliver last week, and I just choose really depressing real-world topics. Be like, this week we're talking about the death penalty.
Well, that would require actually doing research. And we've made it clear this is a strictly no research podcast.
You honestly think me and you couldn't kill 2 hours talking about the death penalty with no facts or basis in reality whatsoever? Come on. That's Politics 101, baby. I just have to say, a study says.
Yeah, someone studied that.
Like, I had a full conversation with my brother the other day where he was talking about how AI sorting can find less popular studies to get you out of an echo chamber. And then I'm like, counterpoint, maybe the less popular studies are less popular because they're not good, so people don't cite them. And it's like, if you use smart searching to find the sources that back your point, won't that just cause you to be able to take any point, no matter how stupid, and find the like 3 papers that exist that back your point?
Yeah, probably.
So I'm like, I don't know if your sources being rated is as big of a big enough problem we'd want to fix it, because it's like, well, it could go through old papers and add new keywords. I'm like, won't it steal that information aggressively?
Yeah.
But AI debates aside, so what's new with me since we last spoke is I've went to orientation, I've went through a bunch of self-serve training modules, I finished a book, I sent a novella I was working on with somebody to a publisher in an incomplete state just cuz, and got a couple other things out, and now I'm just trying to get ready for the wave.
Sounds exciting.
Yes, it was our novella we were working on that I gave a quick polish and sent off for the heck of it.
Yeah, okay.
Although they did have a contest that opens next month that's like entering an Ikasai contest. I'm like, how hard would it be to turn that into an Ikasai? I guess I would like. Would that be a reasonable edit to make your main character come from another world? You'd add like one chapter at the start, really. A truck hits him, he's in this world, and now he's a spy in this world instead of his world. Which means we can now expo dump on him and explain everything like he wouldn't already know. Which we went out of our way to like not do. So it's like this next wave of edits is just having characters explain things at the protagonist to lower the grade level of our work. So that's what's new with me. What's new with you?
Well, okay, I'm going to skip over the movie review for the moment because it's adjacent to our actual topic.
Yay, good job. Maybe. We'll see.
But I do have 2 pizza store anecdotes.
Ooh. We do love pizza.
I'm going to start with
They're our second most popular topic after being told, please don't sell your organs.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the shorter one. We have an employee, and
that's already hard to believe.
He likes to argue with people on Facebook. I don't know if he trolls any other websites, but Facebook seems to be his website of choice to argue with people.
I'm going to get myself so doomed because I'm going to say something on social media forgetting I'm actually technically a public figure.
Okay, so regardless of your stance, the fastest way to start an argument on Facebook at this time is to post anything about Israel and Gaza.
Well, second fastest.
Okay, well, what do you think is the fastest way?
So this worked itself into my feed the other day, where a person would take on callers, right? And if the caller said they don't respect pronouns, he'd play a buzzer whenever they used a pronoun to prove a point that they don't actually know what a pronoun is. And then you can't actually say sentences about pronouns because you use a pronoun. So, pronouns. Right. Pronouns are the fastest. Gaza's the second fastest.
Okay. So, he posts something. I don't actually know or care what his position is. But he posts something about the conflict.
You couldn't pay me enough. You could not pay me enough money to post something about this. No.
No, it's just a minefield waiting to happen. Like, it's like, oh, don't do it.
I mean, I enjoy not shooting children in the face, but apparently that's not a universally accepted stance on this issue, so I ain't touching it.
I shouldn't laugh. It's a very serious topic. But
I mean, this actually kind of ties into our later movie review, so I think we'll be good.
More to the point, someone in Florida got offended by whatever our employee posted.
That seems literally impossible.
I know, it seems literally impossible. And I didn't believe it either.
I can't You're telling me someone got offended on Facebook from Florida? That semes insane. Next you're going to tell me you caught 3 shiny spindas with the same pattern.
But he, this gentleman from Florida, I'm going to call him Wade. He was so offended by whatever was posted that he decided to creep our employee's Facebook and figure out where he works and tell him that he was going to call us and get him fired. And Wade had the follow through to actually call our store and try and get him fired.
I almost respect that. Not everything that's happened. Everything that happens is incredibly stupid. But being brave enough to call somebody in 2025 is no small task.
Well, so he calls in the store. He's like, "Oh yeah, do you have a 2 minutes to talk?" And it's like, "Yeah, okay." So this guy, he's a terrible racist, and he posted pictures of my 9-year-old son on his Facebook, and he's posted pictures of dead babies, and I'm like, well, you know, what he does in his spare time that's his business. It doesn't reflect our values or principles. but this sounds like an issue between you, him, and Facebook. Like, if it's
possibly
actually
the
that
police.
bad. Right? And he's like, oh, so you guys are okay with racists at your workplace? It's like, no, we're not okay with racism. But I can't just fire our employee on your word alone. Oh, I'll give you proof. I'm going to post bad reviews on your Google reviews. And I'm going to take you guys down if you don't fire this guy. It's like, okay, sir, you're calling from a private name, private number. Like, kind of seems like you're harassing our employee. Oh, you think I'm harassing our employee? It's like, dude, I
Yes.
just told you, like, I can't just fire him because you said he's racist. Like, I can't do that. I don't know, I talked to him for like 3 or 4 minutes. So he's like, you know, I'm just gonna like hang up now because we're not getting anywhere. And I just hung up on him.
That's so majestic.
So far, as far as I can tell, as far as I can tell, he has not posted anything defamatory towards us. But
Well, even if he does, it's so funny because remember I gave a rant on our other podcast that people totally listen to about how when you try and build things tailored for critics, it's like a complete failure because the vast majority of anyone won't care for something. And I'm just like, you're in Saskatchewan, you're looking up reviews for redacted pizza, and you see 1-star angry review from Florida, and you think to yourself, how did they try this pizza? And then you respond to the review being, sir, have you considered trying our pizza?
oh, well, see, and this, I think he actually did post one review. I'm not sure if Google Canada has a different review website than the Google US website because, like, I couldn't find said review. But someone did show me a picture of it, and they name dropped the employee, and they said, "Oh, this guy's so racist. Don't go here. Don't support racist people." And it's like that's not even a real review. Like, you didn't actually review the food or the service. Just this one employee that you're mad at.
What a world we live in.
Never met them. Never even gonna come to our pizza store and like. Anyway, I wonder what kind of life this guy lived that he actually had the time and follow through to call our store and try and get someone fired for being racist.
That is just so amusing to me. Like, I'm surprised I don't have more review bomb reviews on my work. I guess I'm just not famous enough for people to bother. But like, I'm just picturing like, I hate Richard personally. Do not buy his book because I hate him. Would probably move me more books.
Probably would.
Because it's like, what did you do? What controversial materials in the Minuet of Sorcery? It's like, there's a typo on page 3. I'm like, I need to see this typo. Actually, so there's an infamous typo in the dedication of my first book. And my mentor's like, you know what you do is book 3, in the dedication, you dedicate it to the typo in book 1 and how it carried you through the trilogy.
Okay. But pizza store anecdote number 2.
This person rolled up from Florida and ran into your store with an alligator so he could ride like a mace.
No. I mean, that would be hilarious.
No.
But
no, it would not. It'd be funny to me, but I do not think you have such nerves of steel that an alligator flying at you wouldn't scare you.
Okay, you're right. I would not be laughing at the time, but I would definitely
tell everyone that story for the rest of your life.
I'd get the video footage and I'd post it on YouTube, and people would laugh at it for sure. But no, the second story is a little bit more somber. Because you might recall several months ago, there's no way of me telling which episode this is in.
Could you imagine if we listened to our own stuff?
Yeah, there's absolutely no way for me to find out this information. But I told a story about Mr. Mustard.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and his grandmother called the store to invite me to his funeral. And I didn't really know what to tell her because I wasn't personally connected to this Mr. Mustard. So I wasn't really interested in the funeral. And
I do need a pause
but, you know,
for a
it had to
moment
be like
to
the
point
light
something
one
out. The background stories happening behind our episodes are probably far more interesting than the episodes themselves. And I do think, like, 30 years from now, people are going to be like, printing out these transcripts and attaching them with red string to try and figure out what's going on.
Okay, but so I told this story at the time for two reasons. The first, it was an awkward interaction, and awkward interactions make for good stories.
I would never know. I've never had an awkward interaction in my life.
But secondly, through the conversation with Mr. Mustard's grandmother, I became aware that he was related to a recent mass murderer. And so I told this story because of the awkward interaction, and because I think it's interesting how few degrees of separation, like you know me, I know Mr. Mustard, who's related to this mass murderer. It's like there's only 4 degrees of separation between you in Ontario and this mass murderer that lived in Saskatchewan.
Way to dox me.
You who lives in redacted Canada.
Thank you. You know, I think the only thing that protects our anonymity is we lie as often as we tell the truth. So I'll be like Saskatchewan, and then I'll just be like, no, actually, I'm from Florida, just to kind of mess with the censors.
Okay, but anyways, so we had this other employee. I'm gonna call him Rob L.
Okay.
But I know that probably isn't where your brain is going with this, but Rob L is not short for Robert Latimer.
Okay.
That's.
I was going Robbio, the evil twin of Oreo.
We did not hire Robert Latimer at Redacted Pizza Store, but I do often get Robert Latimer mixed up with Robert Pickton, who was a serial killer named as the Pig Farmer. But I mean, you might get Robert Pickton mixed up with Robert Hansen, who was the Butcher Baker, or Robert Rhodes, who was the truck stop killer, or Robert Yates, who's the Spokane serial killer.
Is don't be Robert. There has never once been a serial killer named Bobbert. Not one.
Well, wouldn't you know it? Rob L. Absolutely hated the idea of being called Bobbert. He hated the name Bob in general.
I think everyone hates me calling them Bobbert.
But he kind of looked like a drifter. He was, kind of like nondescript clothes, a little bit short, kind of skinny, not like overweight or anything. Wiry hair. The top of his head was almost completely bald, but he was always wearing a hat. He preferred to pay for things in cash, and he just was always broke. He just kind of seemed like the person who could just like disappear whenever he wanted. I mean, he did have a blood clot in his leg that caused nerve damage after he got into a fight with some vampires, which, now that I think about it, sounds like a fictional way to deal with bad medical news, but that could just be me.
That seems legit. Let's be honest. So, how is it we live in a world where a cell phone can take a picture of an exam, and then, so, random new with me story to go on a tangent where I'm going somewhere with this. We're at a point where people in classes in college that they pay for are on their laptop, have the mic open to record what the teacher's saying in real time, to plug that into ChatGPT with the prompt, what's something I can say in class to not sound stupid, to then read it off the screen by raising their hand to ask a question, just simply for the act of asking a question that an AI has told them they should ask to feel less socially awkward. They're literally being the man-machine interface for the AI. They're picking up the data and putting it into the AI so the AI can then talk through their mouth. This is not just it's not like a person. That's just a thing people are doing now. So how is it that we live in a world where a paying college student will use an AI to think for them so they don't look dumb in class, but vampires are fake? How is it we live in a world where we made a poetry machine but haven't automated garbage collection yet? And vampires are fake.
And vampires are fake.
We live in a world that people will graft skin from their butt to regrow hair on the top of their head, but vampires are absurd. That is my rant. I pass the mic back to you to make sure you get more screen time than me so I can point it out later at my amusement.
Okay, so, given how many Roberts are criminals and or serial killers,
name all children Alex.
Robert Latimer being the least worst person on the list of Roberts that I may have listed, but there are more Roberts that have been serial killers or murderers. Anyways, the point of the matter is, I don't really believe in I'm probably going to say it wrong, but it's like noministic determination,
Yep.
where someone's name determines or gives them a predisposition towards certain careers or choices in life. As an example, Dennis the dentist or Richard the writer, could be could be signs of noministic determination.
I mean, I could equally be. What would be impossible, like biologically, though, if I was Richard the robber, because I can't open a safe. So, determinism can't be trusted.
Well, anyway, given that there's so many Roberts and Rob L, that just sounds like a suspicious character. Like, what is his last name? Why? Anyways, I asked him. I was like, "Hey, are you a serial killer?" And he's like, "No, I'm not a serial killer."
According to the module I did today, that was actually just harassment. I absolutely did the workplace harassment seminar today. That is absolutely harassment, sir.
Asking someone if they're a serial killer?
Yes.
Well,
unless you can tell me how it's flattering. I'll wait.
Well, no, I was like, hey, there's a lot of Roberts. I'm just curious, dude. Like, are you a serial killer? And he's like, no.
That worked better if you had more than one Robert to prove you weren't just calling this Robert a serial killer. You need more Roberts.
but then he's like, well, even if I was a serial killer, I wouldn't tell you. And also, you're not my type. So,
triple burn.
I can rest easy knowing that if Rob L is a serial killer, then he wouldn't kill me.
Well, yeah, he kills people to sell their spleens.
So anyways, eventually,
you learned
Rob
that
L
you have
had
to get higher
support
quality organs so people will bother killing you?
No, he had to stop working at our store because he had congestive heart failure.
I was really hoping you'd say because someone in Florida broke his heart.
No, but so over the course of the next couple of years, I keep hearing rumors of Rob L. He's living in this slumlord house here, or he's in this care home here, or he's back in the hospital. One day he actually even called me up. He was like, "Hey, can you buy me 6 cans of Pepsi and a pack of smokes? I'll pay you back whenever." And he did pay me back, which was nice. Pay me back in cash, obviously.
The most shocking part of that story is the Pepsi.
he really liked Pepsi, and I mean, I guess he must have liked smoking because you're not really supposed to smoke when you have congestive heart failure.
So, counterpoint. So, it was a line of Breaking Bad where it's like, should you be smoking? You have lung cancer. It's like, what's it gonna do?
Well, I mean, so...
Note to our viewers at home, don't smoke if you have lung cancer.
So then, I get a call at work, and the person introduces himself. Yeah, I'm Rob L's brother. I was like, okay, what can I do for you? He's like, yeah, he passed away the other day. I was like, oh, that's really sad. Well, when is the funeral? They're like, oh, no funeral. He's just getting cremated, and then we're gonna throw his ashes in the ocean or something. I didn't actually. They said they're gonna bring his ashes back to BC because that's where he was born. I think he would have preferred to go to Nova Scotia because he always wanted to go to Nova Scotia, or Newfoundland. But so, yeah, I asked him when there's funerals and no funerals. Like, oh, well, okay. And they made me think of Mr. Mustard and how I got invited to his funeral and I didn't want to go. And Rob L., whose funeral I would have wanted to attend, he wasn't having one. It makes people this is like, what is that?
I just don't go to funerals without an open bar or a buffet. Like, why would I do this to myself?
Yeah, I was really hoping that the whole like mass murderer transition to the serial killer thing. I was hoping I could set it up so you'd be fooled into thinking that perhaps Rob L. murdered Mr. Mustard with the candlestick in the library. But I don't know if that came through or not.
You see, you went
Anyway, that's not true.
You see what ruined your entire setup there. So, to give a mini rant on Chekhov's gun that I gave earlier today when talking about metaphors in literature. So, in this original metaphor, one of my clients like, oh, I want to have that metaphor about the broken pottery that's put back together with the gold and the lacquer, the kinagiri to show broken things being art, right? And I'm like, that's a great metaphor, but you have to put that vase on the shelf Act 1, smash it Act 2, and then build it back up Act 3, because you got to weave in these things in the narrative. Your problem is I like setting up a clue joke. You can't have a 20-minute tangent about other serial killers named Robert if you want me to follow the Mr. Mustard thread. You needed to give him a clue name, but you're like, I'm just going to talk about bad Roberts for a while. I'm like, you lost me, man, because I was paying attention to the Robert on the mantle, and it's like, haha, clue joke. I'm like, no, you failed. You could have made the clue joke, but you simply yapped your way out of it, friend. And you're mad because I'm right.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, I at least I tied the whole story together at the end there.
Oh yeah, it's like rolling up drunk to pick up your super dog. That was a top tier segue, you know it.
That was a top tier segue into our topic, which is the new Superman movie, James Gunn's Superman.
So I'm gonna open with a little bit of a monologue. I'll keep it to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Less time than you spent on Bobberts. So, very few people will say their favorite superhero is Superman. 100% of people whose favorite superhero is Superman is a good person. So, Batman's the default. He gets more movies, more exposure. Statistically, you're more likely to see a cool Batman thing, right?
Right.
So it's a very vanilla answer, and a lot of people's favorite hero are Batman. I'm not going to be like, oh, Batman fans are edgy. No, they're just people who've seen good movies that like a rich dude beating people up.
Right.
Favorite superhero from DC is The Flash. You're like, okay, you probably watch the CW show, but you like a lighthearted, quirky hero that's trying to do the right thing. But to like the hero who's like, I will always do the right thing is a bit of a twist. And if you like Wonder Woman, it's because you didn't have any gender exposure to other female superheroes growing up because of the patriarchy. So, I'm going to open with my question to you, which would probably be a good random question, but I'm going to use it here. Who is your favorite DC superhero who's not a Ninja Turtle?
Who is my favorite DC superhero who is not a Ninja Turtle?
We both watched that crossover, and we both would just pick the Ninja Turtles. Which is the objectively correct answer, but not for this question.
Right. That's actually stepping back for a moment, it's actually really funny. The Ninja Turtles crossed over with DC. I mean, they must have crossed over with Marvel as well at some point.
Probably.
But like their whole backstory is that they fight the foot ninjas because Daredevil fights the hand, right? Like.
So, like, it's almost a beautiful full circle for them to just be the DC's Timeline's version of Daredevil is actually beautiful.
Anyways, as for my favorite DC superhero,
and you don't have to commit to this answer. It's a first thought, best thought, and you can redact it by the end of the episode at any point.
Well, no, I mean, I absolutely loved Green Arrow Year One.
Nice.
And that particular version of the Green Arrow, that's one of my favorites because he's rich and then he gets stranded on an island and has to rebuild himself from nothing to be able to get off the island. Green Arrow is way cooler than Hawkeye, for sure.
Oh, no question. Green Arrow's also like emotionally balanced Batman. He's like Batman if you just sand off the edges a little bit less problematic. He's Batman who has a therapist.
I mean, I think if you look at the stats, Hawkeye just does everything Green Arrow does, but better. But it might be the other way around because DC and Marvel competed that way, but a lot. But I'm pretty sure Hawkeye is the one who's just statistically superior.
Man, I'm so sick of one thing they keep doing in death battle videos, which I used to like, is it's like if a character dodges something that looks like it's light, they say they move at light speed. I'm like, that's just simply not true. That's the weirdest power scaling thing. They go like, well, he's 30 times light speed, he's 60. I'm like, they're moving before it shoots. It's not that complicated. They're not dodging at the speed of light. They hear the gun and they move, or they're moving on instinct or reflex or ultra instinct. But saying all these characters are moving at the speed of light, if they actually moved that fast, the universe would rupture around them. You don't get to just move at the speed of light. But I digress.
Okay. Well, so now I got to flip that question back on you. Who is your favorite DC superhero? That's not the Ninja Turtles.
Begrudgingly, so it's kind of like a top 3. So I really enjoyed the Flash TV series, and he's in interesting things. But John Constantine's in better things. And I'm not sure I like Constantine so much as I like the stories he makes happen. Like, yes, I relate with the alcoholic wizard who's trying to scam demons and angels. Like, that's my vibe. But he also is like, you'll watch a John Constantine thing and be like, oh yeah, he hooked up with King Shark and then brought Batman to fight Merlin in the center of the world. I'm like, this is just shenanigans. Pure shenanigans at their finest. So I'm going to say Constantine and the Flash tied in different directions. Also, none of the Constantine actors, to my knowledge, went on violent crime sprees. Ezra Miller was a bad person. Don't sue me. This is a comedy show. So, Superman. I have thoughts. You have thoughts. I'll go with your thoughts first.
Well, okay. So I'm going to step aside for that moment for my mini movie review, because the movie I wanted to review is actually Marvel's Fantastic Four First Steps.
You trapped me. All right, go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to keep it spoiler free. I thought it was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it was one of the best Marvel movies of the last 5 years. It was, in my opinion, the best Marvel movie since, like, I don't even know, because I don't count Endgame and Infinity War as movies, they're experiences, because they simply don't work as movies. It'd be like if you went to when they took the 3-part finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender and called that a good movie. It's not. You can't just watch the finale of a show that's movie length and say it was a good movie. It's like Dragon Ball Z Broly isn't a good movie because it depends on you having watched a franchise for 30 years.
But that's basically all that I really need to say about First Steps. Is that I thought it was actually a pretty good movie. Apparently, it is a commercial flop because of superhero fatigue.
A commercial flop because they don't even. If you make back the cost of your money, that's a failure because they're judging based on how much more profit it made than the last thing. It's a commercial flop because people's expectations don't match physical numbers of people. Like, they'll be like, how did everyone on Earth not watch this movie 3 times? They'll be like, we don't even go to theaters anymore. What are you talking about?
But the main takeaway from that, and this actually extends further beyond, but is that there's a growing trend of just not doing the backstory.
I firmly agree with this trend.
No, I do. I generally think it is good because at this point, most people who are actually going to see superhero movies in particular already know about the superhero.
Oh, yeah.
And so they don't really need to rehash that backstory again and again. It's not even always relevant to the main plot of the story. They just have to throw it in there because just in case. And then if you don't know the superhero, then you can go in there and you can still have that level of mystery and wonder about who they are and where they came from, and maybe that'll come up in a later movie. Who knows?
I hate the Marvel trend of giving people their movie outfit at the end of the second movie. Not even the end of the first movie. They'll put Wolverines in a comic accurate costume in a box for 4 movies. Let you know what's in the box.
But like another good example from the DC side was the Batman with Robert Pattinson. I don't even think they mentioned his backstory like once in that movie. They just let him
amazing self-control.
be a detective.
My only problem with that movie was it was shot like a miniseries, and it was a lot of movie. That's it. That's like not even really a critique, but I'm like, yeah, I didn't finish it in one sitting, which is rare for me because I'm like, I'm just to take a break and pick this up later.
But Superman, the James Gunn Superman, takes that trend to like a whole new level, and it almost feels like there is literally a part 1 to this movie that they just like, yeah, no, you guys don't really want to watch part 1. You just pick it up at part 2.
Well, one of my author mentors actually calls that like narratively clearing the throat, where you just delete your first chapter after you're done.
Yeah.
And a lot of writing really benefits from that. Because your first chapter, you're doing a lot of establishing, a lot of explaining, a lot of getting into the rhythm. But then the story doesn't really start till chapter 2, and you're just like, okay, I needed to write chapter 1 to be able to write chapter 2. But then you just throw chapter 1 in a fire. Because it's like... So... And I don't mind spoiling the Superman movie. If you're watching our show and expecting me to not accidentally spoil it, I got news for you, buddy. But one of the reviews I heard about...
If you're still here after 100 episodes and you're expecting us to have completely spoiler-free reviews of movies and other media, obviously you weren't paying that much attention.
I'd be kind of proud of us, honestly, if we had that ability. But one of these notes I heard was... Marvel is the regular world, and then superheroes happened. DC has always been a superhero world. So when they tried to do the Snyderverse, they tried to ape Marvel's "it's a normal world, then superheroes happened." James Gunn Superman's like, no, this has been a superhero world the entire time. And I find that background detail so interesting, because it's like, Superman's new, but he's not a shocking, game-changing thing. He's just like, oh, yet another metahuman, but a particularly good one. And I kind of love the idea of being like, aren't you going to go fight the Death Monster? I got things to... I had him make a personal breakdown. They got it. It's just an 8th-dimensional monster. What's wrong? They killed the kaiju for no reason. I was just gonna catch and release the kaiju and they killed it. Now my dog's gone and this sucks. And I'm like, this is such good world building to just... Like, oh yeah, this is the DC universe. Kaijus are just in the background and you just have to go about your day. Like, people were taking selfies with the Godzilla and it made me really happy.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I thought it was a really good movie. It was just like the opening sequence. I don't know if adding any more context would have actually made it better. But that short opening spiel, 3 centuries ago, the first metahuman appeared. 3 decades ago, the Superman landed on Earth. 3 months ago, I don't remember what the 3 months was, but then 3 minutes ago, Superman got beat for the first time. It just felt like it was just like really rushed into this story, and then you're just actually plopped like right in the middle of the story. Not even on chapter 2. It's like chapter 5 or 6 you're plopped into.
So I will admit the initial starting was shaky. I loved this movie, and I think like the idea of like just going for it, but I think they started on the wrong in media res scene. So I wouldn't have started with him being beaten for the first time, being in the fortress, getting healed. That's not where I would have started it. I would have started it at the interview of he flies home, Lois is like, so how'd it go? And they have their cryptic talk about the Middle Eastern dictatorship he toppled by throwing the leader into a cactus. Like, starting at the interview is what I would have done.
Right.
Because then, like, it's not as media res, just like, oh, he's just coming home, sits down for an interview. Would have been actually a pretty clean starting point. And then the movie still plays out exactly as it did before.
Right. Well, yeah, because the Hammer of Barovia was, like, kind of a nothing burger. Also, super funny that he had the helmet on with the visor, then he pulled it off and he's wearing a mask with goggles.
That's so good. So this movie had some really good bits in it. Some truly good bits. Like, instead of having a bot farm, it was a monkey farm doing up hate mail. That got an actual laugh out of me. That was some comic book wackiness that Marvel's been too afraid to commit to because it's too doofy. And I'm like, no, I can picture that coming right out of a comic book of, this is my hyper-intelligent monkey farm to say mean things about Superman on Twitter. The pettier Lex Luthor is, the better Lex Luthor is.
I did really enjoy the super shit joke. It's just like the fact that it's being done by monkeys on typewriters.
Honestly, there's just some moments I really enjoyed. So, the first thing this movie did really well is it's the first good Lex Luthor I've seen in live action.
Oh?
Well, so they went with the tech bro angle for Lex Luthor. It's the first time he's got to start bald in a Superman movie without losing his hair over the course of the movie.
Okay.
Even though that's not a part of his backstory in any way, shape, or form, they just like doing that for some reason. But there's a line near the end that is my favorite Lex Luthor line since like watching like the DC animated series in the early 2000s. The Justice League Batman verse ones, is this Lex Luthor goes, Superman, you just don't get it. I didn't trick you, and I'm not trying to kill you to start a war to steal land. I started a war to steal land to set up an excuse to kill you. I'm the smartest man alive. You think I don't know I'm obsessed with you? And I just love the like implication, like, no, I didn't trick you to do the evil plan. The evil plan was just to trick you. You don't understand. I hate you. So I caused this to happen, not I caused this to happen and you stopped it, therefore I hate you. I am super obsessed with you. Why would I not be? Also, I have a team of elite pro gamers to help me use my mindless drone to beat you up. Like, there's the bit where he comes in and he's screaming, where's the dog? He's like, what dog? I should probably put it down. What'd you say? Oh, nothing. Like, that Lex Luthor was great. Just goes in, yeah, you guys will probably pay me to destroy Superman, so good talk. Generals, bye.
I don't know. A lot of this movie, I did actually really enjoy it as well. Like I complain about the being dropped off in the middle of the story, but I'm actually it's almost a pastime of mine. People will be sitting down watching something on Netflix, and I'll just like sit down and start watching it with them, ask a couple questions, and then latch onto a few key characters, and then come back like they've watched 5 episodes or something, and be like, oh, I thought this person died. And they're like, oh, no, they didn't die. Like, yeah, and they explain it. So being thrown into the middle of the story didn't actually bother me that much.
But I was so many kinds of on board. Because, like, we don't need it being sent to the planet as a baby. We don't need... Like I said, you could have started at the interview, but you don't really need Lois Lane explaining to the audience, oh, that's Superman. I don't know. Being knocked in the middle of nowhere feels like a weird place to start. But the actual core point of the movie, being that he didn't know how to care for this stupid dog, and him calling in the dog while injured, was such a good way to introduce the problem that was the dog. Because this is the story of a man who's just trying to pet sit, and just trying to do the right thing. And people were just... It was like a reverse character arc, weirdly. So Superman was just trying to do Superman things. And the entire world's like, you suck. He's like, I'm just trying to do Superman things. And his actual narrative arc was, no, just keep doing Superman things. That's fine. It's like the Simpsons meme. It's like, no, it's the children who are wrong. That was actually the point of this movie was, no, everyone else was wrong. You're doing the right thing, Soups. Just keep on it. Because he didn't really learn anything. Everyone around him learned something.
Hmm.
Because, like, at the end of the day, everything that saved him was him being a good person, not him being Superman.
Hmm.
He got out of jail by being a legitimately nice guy.
So the monkeys on typewriters spreading that stuff on social media was a funny joke. But just as say for example, if we cut that opening sequence like you said and just start with that interview, and then we could dedicate more time to the anti-Superman sentiment, because I ended up kind of feeling like when Lex Luthor goes on TV and announces that Superman, his parents wanted him to rule the planet, not save the planet. Just from a movie standpoint, the sentiment of absolutely everyone, he literally just saved a bunch of people's lives with minimizing damage. No one died from the kaiju attack, and then within 2 minutes, this is the same scene where he literally saved everybody, and then Lex Luthor's on TV, and suddenly everybody absolutely hates him and is throwing garbage at him.
I think that's pretty accurate, because Lex Luthor didn't just say he was here to conquer the Earth. He said Superman's on the Epstein list and then played the footage. That's pretty bad, man. Oh, you're just pretending to be a hero so you can reproduce. It's not a good look. It's like people are so fast to burn down their friends. Like, I remember when Critical Role got completely roasted because they did a Wendy's sponsored ad, and they got told so much negativity thrown at them for selling out that they pulled this Wendy's special episode down and apologized about doing a promotion with Wendy's. And they play dice for a living. They're not heroic. They're just dudes who play a board game that the very idea that these indie game creators, who they're never claimed to be, would take money from Wendy's was an unforgivable sin, even though they're sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. So I fully believe, I don't know, a guy tried to get one of your cooks fired because he said something mean on the internet.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, that's a single isolated incident. I mean, I'm sure there are more incidents like that, particularly in the United States, where labor laws are not in favor of the employees.
I just like a good callback.
But I don't know. Just the how much the people hated him, despite the context and proof that's kind of not necessarily opposite, because I mean, yeah, sure, he's pretending to be a hero to build up a concubine. I don't know. I felt like maybe that should have been more of a montage, where it devolved over time, as over maybe even if it was over the course of a week, as the information disseminated. It just happened so incredibly quickly.
Because it's true that since that was an emotional crux of it being hey, Superman, even though you weren't sent, it's oh, you thought you were sent here to be a good guy. I guess that doesn't really matter because he decided to be a good guy because he wanted to be a good guy. And the second half of that message could have been anything. I see where they were going from it. And it's you're right, that probably would have been a better use of some of that screen time. Not that they didn't get maximum value out of a lot of their screen time.
True.
You know what's pretty ballsy of them? That Marvel could never? So Marvel will only cameo characters that's already introduced, right?
Right.
Green Lantern just showing up with no explanation of what a Green Lantern is whatsoever was a ballsy move. There was just a Green Lantern, and there was just Mr. Terrific, and there was just Hawkgirl, and that's it. They're there, they're the Justice Gang, and they killed the kaiju.
Yeah, I definitely... I don't know Guy Gardner's story. I've always thought that Hal Jordan was the quintessential Green Lantern.
That was kind of the point. So Guy Gardner's actual canon story, just to give you a 30-second data jump. So Earth has 3 Green Lanterns in their service, right? Jon Stewart was the one they put in for diversity casting in the 2000s.
Jon Stewart?
Yeah. The Black Green Lantern. Then there's Hal Jordan, the White Green Lantern. And there's Guy Gardner, the douche. And he was introduced to say,
Yeah, okay.
specifically, to be a Green Lantern, you need willpower. That does not mean you need to be a good person. So he's kind of a running joke of when Green Lantern show up, he'll be like, doesn't Earth have a third Green Lantern? They'll be like, no, never him, we hate him. So that's the joke, is that he's the shitty Green Lantern, and everyone knows he's the shitty Green Lantern, especially him. I thought that was great to be like, oh, he's the shitty Green Lantern, because if he was the good Green Lantern, the movie kind of would have solved itself.
Yeah?
Because, like, yeah, he would have just went to help Superman, but no, this one's the crappy one.
All he cares about is the Justice Gang and money.
He's doing it, like, for fame, for money. Well, technically he's not wrong, though. His literal job description is to keep dangerous aliens off of Earth. So, like, he was given, like, if your job is to keep dangerous aliens off of Earth, and this guy just got out as a dangerous alien, it would be weird to go bust him out.
Yeah. Mr. Terrific was
Awesome.
a very interesting, like, he's a pretty awesome character. Definitely, like you say, the cameo, like Mr. Terrific actually is more than just a cameo.
He's a
like,
character
he
in
is
this
actually
one.
like,
Yeah, he's a character.
He's a character in the story. I was just like, oh man, that's like, I guess that's kind of James Gunn's specialty. What he's known for now is taking these obscure characters and breathing new life into them.
Mr. Terrific is not as obscure as you would think.
Oh?
So, I'm familiar with him from Justice League, and I was familiar with him from the Supergirl show, and I think he showed up in, like, the Flash show. Like, this wasn't a I've never heard of this character, but it was, like, close enough. It's like, okay, this is the smart guy you bring in who isn't Batman, who isn't da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
And in this case, this might just be me projecting, but he seemed extremely autism-coded, which I respected. Just like, I want to talk about my messy relationship. He's like, absolutely not. And, like, I really, like, the story was interesting because I do think Lois Lane's the one who got a character arc, not Superman, in it, and she probably got as much screen time as he did.
She did get a lot of screen time, and, I mean, she didn't do a whole lot to progress the story.
She did and she didn't.
But she was an interesting, well-rounded character for sure.
So for things she did to advance the story. So first is, she pushed Superman into, are you allowed to show up in these conflicts? Are you supposed to do this? So, like, some of his actions were, like, directly shaped by conversations with her. Like, he got defeated right after he got dumped, which probably isn't a coincidence. But, like, her character arc was be like, this is literally the nicest guy on the planet. And the relationship issue is clearly with me, because there's literally nobody better on this planet. And I am the person who has relationship and trust issues, and I need to apologize to Superman. Was like her character, like her change over the course of the movie was that occasionally you have to just pick someone to not be suspicious of.
Fair.
Which her literal job is to be suspicious of people.
I guess she did also bring Mr. Fantastic to the portal.
Brought Mr. Terrific
rather,
well, think about it, is while he was arrested, she went to the Justice Gang, researched it, went down, rescued Superman, then during the big battle, defeated Lex Luthor. She got the win, not Supes. I mean, technically, Jimmy Olsen's ex-girlfriend led to her getting the win, which she made him do. So, like, yeah, no, she's actually the one who got the win in that movie. It was arguably the protagonist.
Yeah, now that I think about it, she actually did do a lot to shape that story. She actually did play an important role. And like I say, she was a well-rounded, interesting, and dynamic character.
And it's like, especially for being, compare that to every Marvel love interest.
That they're basically just background scenery.
I mean, I really enjoyed the joke, by the way, that the reason Crypto was a shitty dog was his drunk cousin's pet. Like, I actually really enjoyed that twist, being like, oh, Clark Kent's dog would never be this unruly. But like, oh, he was told to guard his last family member's pet and they got abducted under his watch. No wonder he was just having the worst day.
Yeah. That is definitely true.
So I'm going to argue that Lois Lane in Superman 2025 actively drove the story forward, defeated Lex Luthor, and was the protagonist of the story. I would make that claim. And probably had as much screen time as Supes.
Yeah, I mean, after reevaluating, it's like, yeah, you're right, that she was more than just a set piece.
Because yeah, like her thing was letting down her emotional walls and trust without compromising her independence. And then Superman was about whether or not he'd still be a hero without that predetermined destiny to be a hero.
Right.
So his was embracing the duality of his heritage. And also,
okay.
What I found really funny about this movie, and part of why I went to go see it, is into my feed, angry people who are saying the new Superman movie was too woke made it into my feed. And I watched someone give an angry rant about how Superman's changed because he was all about the American dream and protecting private property. And my first thought is Superman was never about protecting private property. I don't know where you would possibly get that take of Superman. Or the take that Superman, the person literally shown on screen punching Nazis specifically, would ever be for oppression. It's just insane to me. It's like, Superman would be right-wing. No. No, he would not be. What are you... No. He literally, in like issue 4, was slamming KKK members together and throwing them into the ocean. No. Well, he supports capitalism. His number one villain is literally capitalism. That's what he fights on a daily basis. So, my thoughts are, if you watched the new Superman movie and thought, oh, he's too woke, you're actually just telling on yourself for being a bad person. If your problem is with Superman's politics, you might be the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps this is why they didn't really show much of the conflict that Lex Luthor manufactured.
Oh, I got a big fun fact about that first.
Okay.
Plus, I want to make sure I have more screen time than you this episode. So, you watch the conflict between Israeli Hamas over Ukraine and Russia-Israel stand. And the joke is, both those fictional countries have existed since the 50s in Superman source material. It is not that they've deliberately set these up to look like modern military conflicts. It is that our world has devolved to such a point where people are so cartoonishly evil that they've devolved to match superhero comic book stories that are that simplistic, that you would think this could not possibly be real. The idea that, like, oh, you're just saying that this one nation would just send tanks to a bunch of civilians and shoot them in hospitals would be like, no, Superman always did that as a parody of what he was fighting against. It is fucked up that the real world is reflecting the fictional countries with the fictional overweight balding monarch being thrown into a cactus. Those aren't new characters. Those are not. We're just in a world where somehow Superman villains have elected seats in office in various countries right now, and no one's doing anything about it. This is not a new story.
But, like, what I was going to say is that, like, they don't really show much of the actual conflict, because by and large, like, obviously every form of media has a bias, but by and large, I felt like this was a fairly, like, bipartisan or apolitical story.
You do, but a lot of people feel really called out, which is deeply depressing.
Yeah, so the people who feel like they're called out are probably actually, like you say, they're closer to being villains than not.
Oh, they're just being villains. So I was watching a Bill Burr comedy special, and I'm paraphrasing here, and this might get our episode canceled. But
okay.
Bill Burr points out that people like to argue that, oh, well, these children are dying because Hamas are using them as human shields.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, put that to America. I'm a bank robber. I grab a child and run into a school. And then the police department blows the school up. That's a bad thing, right? Like, they should be trying a little harder to not blow up the school. Oh, if your children are in the school, there's no longer human shields and acceptable casualties. Like, I've seen a lot of, like, debate videos in my feed of people trying to argue that sniping children in the head is appropriate because of the conflict. I'm like, people are just being real bad. And the echo chambers and the algorithm thieves are amplifying their innate evilness. Because I'm not getting political about it. I'm just saying, if you're a sniper and you're aiming at a child, maybe, like, aim the scope to not shooting them through the face. Like, if you're can you, like, I don't know, try to not shoot the children? Is that an option? On both sides, like, can you just not shoot children? That'd be great. When you watch a superhero movie, like, oh man, they're undercutting my internet argument that shooting children is good. I'm like, I don't think we can be friends. Superman literally is like, people were gonna die, so I ran in. And like, well, what about the political ramifications? Like, a tank was gonna shoot a 12-year-old. They're like, yeah, you really shouldn't mess with that. You don't know. It's like, if you're against Superman on side, stop people from being blood puddles on the ground, you might be part of the problem. Yeah, I got our podcast just canceled just there and now. We lost all our viewership, which would be greatly telling on our viewership and concern me more. No, this is a comedy podcast.
People are actually here for the pizza store anecdotes anyways. So.
Oh, 100%. But yeah, my TLDR is so Fantastic Four would have been my favorite superhero movie in months if I didn't just really vibe with Superman. Like, I don't care about cinematic universes, I'll be honest. I don't really care that James Gunn is going to tie together the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and Blue Beetle and have new projects and I don't really care about that. What I do enjoy is a Green Lantern flipping over a tongue with a middle finger for no reason in my movie. They didn't like, he's just a character in the movie because the world has other people in it. It's Luke Skywalker syndrome. So I hate the Skywalkers with a burning passion. I've given this rant on, I don't know, like 2% of our episodes. We have a pretty large episode base now. But the rant is basically, in the vacuum of space, you should never run into someone you know accidentally. It should be mathematically impossible that a Skywalker is someone you would meet. But then you're watching all the side stories and side content for Star Wars, you're like, this is Chewbacca, friend of Yoda, who both met Luke. And I'm like, that feels impossible, man. It feels impossible you both run into Luke in your lifetimes. So, in this Justice League movie versus a lot of the MCU stuff, the characters in the Justice League movie, not Justice League Superman, sorry. The Justice League movie, the Zack Snyder one's the exact opposite. In Zack Snyder, Batman specifically met all these people and brought them together through his elaborate plan to fight Apocalypse, yada yada yada, right? In the Snyderverse, Batman was the main character and everyone was important. In this Superman movie, and they gave us deliberately a scene to show this while Superman was sitting on the couch being sad, the characters don't let Superman dictate their lives. It's like how in every filler episode of Naruto, every character talks about their relationship with Naruto because he's the most important special boy in the universe. And I really appreciate a hawk woman killing an evil dictator who she probably would have done that with her. Like, yeah, Superman inspired them to go over there. But they were still living their lives and would have still been fighting giant monsters with and without him. Where somehow in the Justice League, all 5 members of the Justice League were on like midlife crises and doing nothing till Batman called them up, and none of them naturally wanted to save the world until they were rallied. And that happens a lot in Avengers stuff too, where it'll be like, oh yeah, Tony Stark built time travel and brought together the team of these 6 people who know each other while no one is doing anything about this. No one in the Marvel world, and they keep introducing new characters, lifted a finger when Thanos showed up and wiped out half the world.
Yeah, that's true.
So whenever they introduce a new character that was on Earth and you do the math, you're like, why didn't the Eternals do something? there was like no? Why didn't so-and-so? And the answer, like, for the Superman movie, which repped it out nicely, is people are doing things and you're showing them doing things. So in a later Superman movie, you're not going to think, where's Green Lantern? You're going to be like, oh man, Green Lantern's totally in jail on an alien planet somewhere from shoplifting and peeing on a police officer. Because they have lives outside the main characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. So Superman and Lois Lane are having their heart-to-heart conversation while the Justice Gang is fighting the eighth-dimensional monster in the background. And first things first, having recently watched the Naked Gun movie, I absolutely love the layers of like stuff happening in the background, stuff happening in the foreground, and then stuff happening where you're actually focused.
It's so good.
Like it's that is definitely top tier cinematography in my opinion. And then, like you say, it kind of adds to the whole world building where it's like Superman's doing his thing, the Justice Gang is doing their thing, and they don't necessarily have to interact, but you can see and you can feel that those people actually exist in a world. Like it's top tier world building in the same way. But in some of the movie reviews that I watched, particularly people who seem to be against the high jokes per minute ratio, like some people thought that undercut the emotional impact of the scene, and I don't know.
I think thought it was vital to the scene.
Yeah.
So it's like, and this is me with my like 4 years of lit analysis talking and the hundreds of books I'm going to have to read because I signed myself up to read a ton of books. Is like, the idea is that Superman choosing to not fight a monster was the midpoint of his character arc. Because it's the first point at that movie where he wasn't where he was about himself. So he gets this upsetting news, everyone tells him garbage, his girlfriend's over who just broke up with him, and he's like, what's wrong? He's like, I just want to find my dog. My dog is alone and scared. If nothing was happening in the background, there's no like, the important part is he's letting himself not go fight the monster. That is really important because that's his darkest point in the movie, where he's like, you know what? I will let someone else do this. A character who saved a squirrel from Godzilla in the middle of a fight. Who then like watched the Justice Gang blow up the Godzilla, and he's like, why did you do that? So I think that scene doesn't work without the background monster. Because then he's not choosing his girlfriend over the monster.
I generally agree with that. Like I just I also like there definitely were some funny moments. But I was really, having watched several reviews before actually watching the movie, I initially had some reservations about James Gunn doing Superman because I disliked Guardians of the Galaxy 3 specifically.
This would have been a really interesting episode.
Number one was fresh and new. Number two was kind of like, and then number three, I was just like, no, I'm kind of over this.
Yeah, I was right there with you.
And then, so I heard James Gunn was going to do Superman, and I was a little bit worried that it was going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but even more. And then with all these reviews talking about, they're like, so many jokes per minute and emotional undercutting, and they're trying to like ruin the moment with quippy remarks. I really actually felt like if you look at, well, say Guardians of the Galaxy 3, for example, it's just like I think he was very subdued in a lot of the things that like really went over the top as you went through the Guardians of the Galaxy series. I really do think it was actually like there were funny moments to give moments of levity, but like there were also heartfelt and emotional moments, and I think it was a well-balanced movie.
Well, what's funny is for this to be a superhero love story and them actually have two fleshed-out characters in love, it's the first time I've seen that in a Superman movie, and in a superhero movie in general, when is the last time the female lead in a superhero movie was a female lead in a superhero movie? Like, I remember, like, the joke being that in Thor 4 More Thor, they're like, yeah, Jane Foster's a Thor now. I'm like, I have no thoughts. You didn't even have her in movies 2 and 3. And she didn't really act in 1. So I have literally no thoughts on this. Or they're like, yeah, look at all the women line up in this scene. I'm like, you're just outing yourself that you don't have any women in your series. That don't do the thigh, grab your face, spin, takedown thing. That is required by female superhero law, that you have to use that incredibly erotic takedown maneuver at all chances. So
that is superhero law.
There's a bit in an unrelated show I've been watching called The Foundation, really good show, where there's this character that's definitely wearing what would be the female sci-fi character outfit with like the giant boob cutout in the back cutout, and he's just a himbo, and it's just being sexualized like he was a female character, and it's such a good bit because no one's doing it as a bit. It's like he is just the pretty boy, and everyone's acknowledging this, and then talking to his more competent wife, and it's just funny because it's just subtle enough to work. But where I was going with that is, so Marvel has quips, right? They have quips per minute. This had jokes. Joke has a setup and a punchline. They call me super shit, and that's dumb, and these monkeys online, and then it's literally monkeys in a box doing the how enough monkeys with a typewriter bit about Shakespeare. That is a joke, because that had setup and payoff. Crypto grab the ball was a joke. That had setup and payoff. Even the post-credit stinger of like, you didn't put the building back together, and he's just, I'm just such a jerk sometimes. That had setup and payoff. So that's my side play. It's like them fighting the monster in the background. The setup was them fighting the kaiju earlier, and then being like, aren't you going to go fight the kaiju? It's just like, I don't care today. That's payoff because they set up the joke. Or the robot named 4 was a 3-line bit to set up the so's Gary. We're just robots. We don't have feelings, and he knows this and doesn't care for us. We're not important or special. 4's not a name, but it's like 4's a name, so is Gary, and then he's just Gary for the rest of the. That was a good setup and payoff. But you see what I mean? Like the difference between Tony Stark throwing away a one-liner in the middle of it versus actually trying to set up a joke.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that it's like, so I mean a lot of people's complaints about Marvel in particular come from the fact that Joss Whedon, love him or hate him, he was a very skilled writer, and a very skilled creative content creator. And then so he did the Avengers movie, which was wildly popular, and then other creators have been trying to kind of copy that style, and they're copying stuff, but they're not really sure why they're copying stuff, and so then that's how we kind of ended up with this quips per minute as opposed to jokes per minute, because they're just trying to copy something without understanding the core of why it worked.
Well, like, here's a good example of how you do a joke versus a catchphrase or a bit. So they're having their couple moment. He's like, I'm edgy. Sometimes the most punk thing you can do is care about people. I was a fan of the Mighty Crabjoys. And then she goes to his childhood room and the poster's actually on the wall. And she's like, that band sucks. And then comes back to see that, no, he legitimately liked this band and you said it sucked. And actually hurt his feelings. I'm like, that's hilarious. Like, that's a sitcom joke right there.
That's true. But yeah, so I do feel like, I mean, another part of why Marvel has gone downhill is just the speed with which they're creating content.
The content mills.
Right, and I do feel like taking that time to actually like step back and really like I say, flesh out the world. Like, it's such a small detail, them fighting in the background, but it really does feel like there's more going on than just the story you're watching. or like you say, the setting up jokes that actually have setup and payoff, as opposed to just
making a
snarky one-liners that are, yeah, like Superman is this James Gunn's Superman. I felt was surprisingly good, and it's a little bit disappointing that it's not a supposed commercial success because it doesn't incentivize creators to create content like this.
I mean, I think it is going to be a success. I think it's a slow burn. Things go to video way faster than they used to in theaters, or a lie, right?
No, that's true.
This is
I didn't actually watch Superman in.
No one did.
Sorry, I didn't actually watch Superman in theaters. My fiance bought it on the Cineplex store.
Oh yeah, no one watched it
because it was for like $6.
But like a piece of data worth noting, it is by far the most successful Superman movie ever made.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not a flop by any means. By a Superman movie, it was the most effective. But people are trying to bash it because it's making them look like bad people. They're like, it's stupid that he saved a squirrel. It's like, you're a bad person. I firmly believe anyone who thinks he should have let a squirrel die is a bad person. That is the kind of person, what, you see a squirrel come across your car and you speed up? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Ooh, that's our one F-bomb for this episode.
Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Besides, I put in a full rant about the Middle East politics, which is your fault, by the way. I need that to be abundantly clear that you prompted me, whether intentional or not, to give a rant about shooting children in the face.
I'm just trying to trick you into having more screen time than me.
So, on that note for screen time, any closing thoughts on Superman the movie? Which part of me was going to give like a full deep dive into like Superman 64 and things, but I think a nice short review on this movie is solid.
Well, yeah, I mean, despite my two major critiques being that it starts off and it feels like you're at the beginning of a second movie, and the speed with which public opinion, like, as soon as people see something on TV, like what does that say about the general public that as soon as these bad things are broadcast on TV, everybody is just like, oh, doesn't matter what my current experiences are, the TV said this guy is bad.
I think that's the meta joke they're going for, because that's exactly what people tried to do to this movie.
But I do feel like the speed with which public opinion changed, both against Superman and then later at the end of the movie against Lex Luthor, it felt like that was just like rushed.
It
and
felt
a bit like,
real. I think it's because you watch the news less than me, but like Elon Musk went from being literal Jesus to snorting horse tranquilizer, screaming chainsaw hyper Republican in the span of 3 months. So it's like,
yeah, the span of 3 months, like it was one scene that wasn't even 5 minutes.
I think it's a meta joke where people were literally, before this movie came out, review bombing it because of what they read on the internet from other people they follow. People were literally going on Fox News and someone said this Superman is a woke liberal and is pushing liberal agenda and the real Superman's Republican. This is a real professional news anchor who went on the air to complain about the Superman movie the day it came out because it went against his political views. I don't know. I think especially in America, it's kind of has to pulse where it is, where every single day someone goes terrible instantly and everyone hates them. We live in a world where people are sending hate mail to Bill Nye the Science Guy for not having a medical degree, feeling lied to by him.
I mean, I guess I did open this with the segment about the guy from Florida.
That was such good storytelling.
Employee.
That was such good storytelling to kind of prove the point. Is like, I'm so proud of you for not intending to do that. To be like, yeah, people wouldn't just read a post on Facebook and then call someone's boss to complain the next day.
I don't know. To me, maybe it is actually accurate, but to me, the tempo of the movie felt off. at those points in particular.
I think it was a lot of movies have this problem, but it was a very overstuffed movie. It wasn't a busy movie, and I think part of it is that probably would have been stretched out if they weren't trying to sow seeds of a cinematic universe in the background, like as required by marketing department law.
Right.
I enjoyed Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawkgirl. I would not have given Mr. Terrific as much screen time as he got because Lois Lane was the protagonist. Also, they put in Jimmy Olsen to just be a himbo to sleep his way into getting evidence, which is hilarious. I really enjoyed how Jimmy's bit had nothing to do with the actual plot at all.
The actual point of what I was saying, though, about my two major quips is that the quality of the rest of the movie, despite me opening with my quip about it, but the quality of the rest of the movie overshadows the negative points that I've made. And I think it was a very well-crafted movie.
Also, what's kind of funny is once Superman learned that evil clone Superman wasn't a person, he's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to protect you. And just beat the ever-living heck out of it. That's always one of my favorite Superman moments is from the Justice League cartoon where he goes, my friends will never give up their heroes no matter how hard it is. I have a different problem. The entire world is made of cardboard. I have to be super careful to not break something or someone. But Darkseid, you look like you can feel a few rounds hand view, and what we have here is a rare opportunity for me to show you how strong I really am. And then he just proceeds to wallop stomp Darkseid.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know, like, there is definitely, I'm not going to call this like a 10 out of 10 movie, because you're right, the Superman's dramatic fall, but also, like, I think it was the pendulum effect. So remember in Man of Steel where we have an angsty gray cam 20 minutes where he's like on an oil ring sad because he didn't save his dad from a tornado because he told him not to, and they slowly desaturate all of the footage to have him sad brooding?
Yeah.
So like, I think they're like, okay, we can't have him sad brood for more than 5 minutes in this movie because we do not want to Snyderverse this. We cannot be angsty for too long. So they might have overcorrected. So instead they had him like be surrounded by love and support.
So I can say overall, I think it was a great movie. I would recommend watching it.
I want to see...
Make it successful so they make more movies like it.
Because, yeah, if he does commit to his DCEU, which, for the record, it had a $200 million budget, it made $600 million, so things being called flops, as I was ranting about earlier, I'm like, are they flops, or is everyone just so ridiculously, unreasonably greedy? Because I'm like, oh, you made 3 times what this is worth, and you made $400 million profit. Huh, $400 million is a flop, huh? That's... Yeah, why I won't even get out of bed for less than $200 million. What is wrong with people? Like, if it made back its budget and everyone got paid and had a good time, you made a successful movie. Like, $1 profit is good. What are we talking about? It was the 7th highest grossing film of the year.
Yeah.
It lost...
Yeah, okay, so the reason that it was considered a box office flop is because its opening weekend wasn't that great.
Yeah, no one was going to bet their money on a new Superman movie being good. You hadn't earned that. Superman had not earned a reputation to watch a midnight launch of it. Please.
I would agree. Like I say, I had reservations about James Gunn after watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I was like, is he actually going to do a good job here? But I think it turned out.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways there's more ways that movie could have been bad than it could have been good. Right? Like, for starters, there is no good Superman movie. People like to tell me it's Man of Steel. No, that's a good Homelander movie. That's not a good Superman movie. Like, it's not. It's not. Superman Returns wasn't good. Superman 1 wasn't good anymore. It might have been at the time. But flying around the planet backwards is just stupid. Amnesia Kiss is just stupid. Them inventing superpowers for a character who already has all the superpowers is ridiculous. Like Superman 2 where he throws his emblem off his shirt at a guy. I'm like, he has all of the powers already. Why are we making up new ones? But yeah, just for context, the movies that beat it out were F1, How to Train Your Dragon, Jurassic World Rebirth, a Minecraft movie, Lilo and Stitch, and Z-Net 2.
Huh.
And
Yeah, all right.
let's be honest. It was. I'm surprised the F1 movie beat it. It was not by much. But, of course, How to Train Your Dragon is a much safer bet. They took a good movie and did it again.
Right.
Jurassic World. Jurassic Park
Everybody
movies.
still loves Jurassic Park.
Well, even if you don't love them, they're like Transformers movies. You go watch them knowing they'll be bad, and you don't hold it against them because you're going for dinosaurs. And the Minecraft movie was doomed to succeed and be awful.
Ugh.
I'm still mad at how many people went to go see live-action Lilo and Stitch for some reason. This is on them. We're gonna keep having bad Disney reboots as long as people go watch them.
I mean, my review was that it was actually alright, but...
It didn't need to exist. At least the new Superman movie had new content I hadn't seen before in a movie. Even if it was bad, at the very least it had things that I had not seen before. You know how rare it is for me to not see something before these days? Oof.
It is pretty hard to do anything original.
Well, that especially when half the movies on that list are remakes, reactions, or direct sequels, or reboot quills. Or the third reboot quill in a series of reboot quills. But with that, we have our random question of the day.
Ooh.
So, what is the longest thing you've ever cooked, and what is the hardest thing you've ever cooked?
The longest thing?
Thing that took you the most time to make.
Okay.
Because the thing that takes you the most time to make isn't always the most difficult thing to make.
Right. The thing that... I'm sorry, what was the other half of the question?
Hardest or most difficult thing to make.
Well, I mean, the most... the most difficult thing to make that I personally have tried to make, and it's not even actually that difficult, but making a good cheesecake.
Amen, brother. Not cracking the top of a cheesecake.
Exactly. That's like, it's still all right if it's cracked, but it's way better if you can actually get like the water bath right, and like then you have a nice crispy crust because you didn't screw up the water bath like I do sometimes. You know, that a good cheesecake. That's the hardest thing that I've had.
Yeah,
to make.
like my hardest thing would probably be I make these like little tiramisu butter tarts, but like tempering chocolate is just a lie. You microwave it, you add in more chips, you microwave it, and then sometimes you can drizzle on this lovely chocolate, and other times you just can't. Because the universe hates you, there's too much moisture in the air. I blinked at it wrong. So I'll say tiramisu butter tarts. Which aren't actually butter tarts, they're just like, I was using like shortbread crust to make shells to put little tiramisu custard in, and then doing like a tempered chocolate crust on top. It's a whole thing. So next is most time-consuming thing.
Well, I mean, actually cooking a turkey in a slow cooker, or in a roaster, and you have to like get up every half hour to baste it so that it doesn't dry out. I mean,
I have a similar answer. So 5 or 4 or 3, X number of years ago, my aunt for Christmas sent me a food basket. It had within it an entire turkey among other things. Our oven is really wimpy in my little cave. So to stop the turkey from drying out, I wrapped the entire turkey in peppered bacon. And then I made a chili oil that I kept basting it with chili oil. This was like a 2-day process of every couple hours I'd baste it. And it is the best thing I've ever cooked by a wide margin, because I infused a turkey in its entirety with bacon. And it was let's put it this way. After 2 days, there was no leftover turkey to freeze. There was 2 of us. It was a turkey. So my chili oil, peppered bacon wrapped turkey is the longest thing I've cooked. Now, to combine the two, the time I made ribs for an entire wedding, I made 200 racks of ribs for a wedding and 10 salads. That was the longest day I spent cooking. Even if the turkey technically took longer, there was more playing Warframe between buzzers going off.
Funny enough, my second place answer for the longest thing to cook would be a rack of ribs. Because I had to bake it in the oven on low heat for like 4 hours, and then after you get it out of have it like slow baked in the oven, then you like sear it on the barbecue.
Oh, taking that extra step to sear them, like I can't be bothered. Like I just do oven ribs. Although I do like to do like a bed of diced potatoes and set the ribs on top. So like I'll do like a brown sugar chili flake dry rub on them. Then I'll let them cook, and then they'll flavor the potatoes, and then I'll put it on the barbecue at the very end of the ribs, so that like they're like dry rubbed, crispy, crisp, and then I like glaze them at the end. They would be even better if I finished them on a barbecue, but I live in a cave, as earlierly discussed.
Well, I don't know. Iron Man built an arc reactor in a cave.
Yeah, but I also don't make as many quips per minute and try and set up actual jokes.
Dang it, you see right through me.
Well, yeah, unlike you, the correct answer was in the study with the revolver, Mr. Mustard.
Mr. Mustard is the one that got murdered. Well, no, he didn't get murdered. Just to be clear, I have mentioned some actual murderers on this podcast today, but the people that I know directly, as far as I know, are not murderers.
As far as I know, completely undercutting your own credibility. Because it's like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know how many people you've killed.
I've killed none successfully. And that's where we'll wrap up today's episode. Nothing I say on this podcast is admissible as evidence. Bye.
Bye.
Also, watch us play Daggerheart.